Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 14th, it's October, it's the year 2020. And this is how I started my day. There were several ravens around, and I was trying to get video of them. And it was difficult because these are smart birds. And I tried, so it is what it is. I do this stuff all the time. I love this stuff. And for instance, if you love this stuff also, I just put this video up on Jailbreak Overlander. Check this out. I filmed this entire video in Clark's Fork, Wyoming, next to Yellowstone. And if you love actual history and really serious footage and me killing rattlesnakes and such, you may want to watch this video. It explains the entire story of the United States Army chasing Native Americans from Oregon to Canada, and I'll give you the real history. You might want to watch this. I'll leave links below. And believe it or not, the story that I'm talking about is probably going to be something that we'll be dealing with in our very near future, which is why I did it. And once again, if you were smart or you're able, you should order this as much or as little as you possibly can because they're already starting to have shipping delays. Minor shipping delays, but delays nonetheless. These aren't going to get any better. Links will be below. So, like I told you, I started my day videotaping ravens, and then suddenly this filled the sky. I'm showing you an enormous piece of the sky out west, and it is completely and utterly filled with this giant geoengineering, nanoparticulate laden monstrosity that is literally and perfectly blocking the sun. These guys warned us that we were going to be experiencing the darkest winter, according to experts. Well, they're not wrong, because every single day they're blocking out the sun as it rises for the first 2 hours, and at the end of the day they're blocking out the sun as it sets for the last 2 hours, therefore removing 4 hours of the sun warming the earth, and it's unseasonably cold. But here's the thing I really wanted to focus on. Notice this giant blob in the sky. See this? Perfectly blocks out the sun. Perfect. But this thing just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they weren't spraying anymore. You see these things right here on the end? You see this pronounced white line on the outside on both sides of this ginormous natural water particulate coming from a turboprop engine? That's sarcasm. These are nanobots, and I just heard me say it. I know that it sounds utterly, entirely, completely crazy, but they are. And they're patented, and they have been patented for a long, long time. What they do is they outline this chemtrail, and then they pull it apart like a sweater. And it just keeps stretching and stretching and stretching. This thing got enormous. It went from horizon to horizon, and it all came out of one airplane. One. Don't believe that? Well, check out this video Mike Decker time-lapsed 2 years ago. It'll show you. Watch this time-lapse right here. This was in the winter in 2018. There's the sun, or the light previously known as the sun. There's one spray. Now watch it. Watch the pronounced white line on this side, and watch it as it spreads. And also notice that the clouds are just moving right along, and yet this stays pretty much dead nut center on the sun for quite a while. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Reminds you of that commercial, Meet Bob. Bob takes you know what I mean? It's funny. At any rate, notice it's just getting larger and larger. That was one spray out of a back of a plane, and it just keeps getting bigger. They've got a new special sauce, and for 2020, yeah, they've got it dialed in. Look at the size of this. This is a time lapse. It's massive. And the bigger it gets, the more it seems to be stopping these clouds, the ones that were originally passing right over at a good speed. And then notice what looks like a punch hole showing up right over here for no particular reason. This is technology. This is old technology. These guys trade. These guys work with weather modification, geoengineering. It's been around forever. It's not a secret anymore. I've shown you the names of the company, and they're literally biblical. Kind of a kick in the eye or whatever you want to call it. But that's crazy, right? That was 2018. And this is 20 minutes ago. They incorporate nanotechnology, tiny, tiny microscopic or really small robotic drones or whatever into this spray. And what they do is they get on either side of it and they stretch it out and stretch it out like a scarf or like an elastic, which covers the sun. I mean, look at this. This is all from one plane. This is all one contrail, quote unquote. It's massive. And it gets worse. This is it over an hour and a half later. Still there. And if I stop moving the camera around, I'm not on a tripod. If I stop moving the camera around, you can see that it's moving right along while the clouds stay right in place. Now, here's the deal. Not only do we have all these events culminating into one this month, Blue Moon, Halloween, All Hallows Eve, the elections coming right up behind that. We have the promised darkest winter coming, and then we have the 75th anniversary of the United Nations, the Blue Helmets, all falling at the same time. Well, if that wasn't enough, CERN is now confident that they will make contact with beings on the other side. So CERN is ramping up the machine once again to try to blow through the veil. Theoretically, historically, and according to native lore, the veil between us and the other side, angels, demons, God, heaven, etc., is the thinnest around October, for whatever reason, which is why the amount of abductions of animals, people, pets, etc., is highest at this time of year. I don't think it's any coincidence that CERN is confident that they'll be able to blow through the veil and make contact. That's all they're ever working on. That's all they ever do. I haven't talked about CERN in a long, long time. But today we actually have some news. CERN is confident they're going to make contact with beings on the other side. When I told you to prepare yourself, I meant in your heart, in your mind, in your body, in your house. Get your house in order. Get right with God. Hit your knees and pray. Pray to God through his one and only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, and ask for guidance. We're almost in the end zone here, people. This is really getting crazy. I haven't videotaped chemtrails in quite a while because it is what it is, and we've had bigger fish to fry. But this, to me, this was epic. I've never seen something to this scale. It was absolutely massive. Horizon to horizon. And I'm out west, where the sky is just a little bit bigger. You see what I'm saying? At any rate, Richie from Boston. Oh, check this out. I received a documentary this morning by a couple of filmmakers out in Australia, and it's right here on Richie from Boston TV. It's called Silence, Censored, and Ridiculed, The Media's Lies. And it's basically just talking about how they're dealing with the same thing we're dealing with in the States. Except Australia's actually got more boots on the ground than we do currently. Or so it seems. Nice picture, huh? It's like a blow-up doll. Unbelievable. At any rate, Australia's getting hammered with censorship and checkpoints and this, that, and the other thing. That's all coming back. That's all coming here. It appears that YouTube's backed off the censorship for now. Seems like everything's kind of come to a halt for now. Except, of course, the geoengineering, the nanoparticulate attacks in the sky. This is the calm before the storm. We've got one coming. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not scared. We should be proud that we're going to be here to see this all unfold. This is on a biblical scale. But they're doing some crazy stuff. And if you don't understand what nanotechnology is, if you find it difficult to believe that there's actually nanobots in this thread of whatever this stuff is, stretching it out and blocking the sun, therefore allowing them to use only one airplane, well, check out Never Lose Truth's YouTube channel and her playlist, because Carol explains it ad nauseum, but better than I. And you can find her right here. Right here on Never Lose Truth's YouTube channel, she's got a ton of playlists, and one of them, several of them actually, are microwave frequencies, 5G, weather modification, geoengineering, and you'll understand what nanobots and nanotechnology is, because it's a very real thing, and it's happening right over your head every single day. How do they have this up here moving and gyrating and looking exactly like the treads on a snake? Richie, how do you know what the treads on a snake look like? Well, here I am right here with a rattlesnake that decided to hit my shoe while I was eating. And I ended up, he lost his head over the deal. It happens. But I don't like getting bit by poisonous things or venomous. At any rate, links to Mike Decker's YouTube channel, Never Lose Truth's YouTube channel, and links to the video I just put up. It's 40 minutes long, and it's one hell of a history lesson, and it's actually true. So you might want to check it out. Just act responsibly in the comments. This is not Richie from Boston channel. It's Jailbreak. At any rate, I'm out.